So once again, me, your boy, the man, NJ to the city with the number 2 TL. Forgive me that I have sweat on me because the fan is off. And I didn't, want it to make noise in this video. So that's one of the top reasons why I'm sweating and it's off right now. But, yeah, let me get back into it. The real reason why I made the last video was to say everything I said, but it was also to say this. Cryptic messages. I want everybody to understand, especially if you follow me on my Snapchat at NJ number 2 the city, and any social media, which is the same thing. All my social media is either NJ Williams or NJ to the city. And I want people to understand, especially on stuff like Snapchat. If you follow me on Snapchat, NJ to the city, I want people to understand, a few things I got to say about that. One, I do post sometimes cryptic messages on my story. So what that means is, since I'm a wordplay, I'm a lyricist and or wordplay lyricist, rapper who loves wordplay, etc. People have to understand, not everything that I say is gonna be as PC as you would think. And even if it is PC, once again, there might be a few extra words in here, that aren't. Like, overall, it's gonna be a PC response, but at the same time, I might, litter some other words in there that are cryptic, and so on. People have to understand that, I just had that's a conversation with myself, like within the last 30 minutes, if not 15. I told myself this, I'm gonna have to, once again, because I also have posted about this within this past summer, is that I gotta get some of this stuff out. If I keep holding back some of my truest thoughts and opinions on certain things and certain people, I'm gonna lose my mind, because I want people to understand I'm a genuine guy, and I think majority of people who know me like that know that I'm a genuine, real guy, humble individual. I claim I'm one of the most humble people you'll ever meet in your life. But aside from that, I do think that some of this stuff I'm going to have to put out, whether it is Snapchat, Instagram, whatever. I'm going to have to put it out and, again, pay my dues with it. And so what that means is, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Because a lot of what I want to put out is not only mind-boggling, but it's like, tongue-tugging, dare I say, because those words both start with the letter T. I want people to totally understand that some of this stuff, yes, is going to be cryptic, if not already has been cryptic. Because what that means is that, some of this stuff, it does go towards the heart, the core, the center of so many problems, injustices, issues, and more. For example, because while watching college soccer earlier today on Sunday, I don't know why ESPN wants to get into politics. I have not a clue. But I think it's similar to what happened with the ESPYs year back when Caitlyn Jenner, aka who, won a aka B Jenner, won a ESPY, and I was confused as God knows what for the reason why. I did not understand, because supposedly he beat out he beat out, I think, some racer, or some cyclist. He beat out some cyclist that lost his leg doing something. And also somebody else that was also extraordinary. And supposedly, if you do your research on it, whether it's YouTube or any other platform, they tell you that was Woke Center, and they tell you, no, Woke Center don't work for us, and that's why back then, ESPN lost some of its audience. They went away from it, and now they're coming back. And I ain't gonna lie, I feel like ESPN, amongst a few other places owned by Disney, I feel like some of these companies, I want people to understand, because I wouldn't fully call myself a media analyst, but you can call me that if you want. Some of these companies, I feel like they've always wanted to go woke, but they just did not know whether it was generally accepted by the public as a whole. And so, because of, BLM being as big as it is, whether it is generally accepted by the public or not, they're going to run with it and just continue to keep seeing where it gets them, because they see enough people, even if it's not enough of the right people, want this stuff. And that's what I really mean when I say either they don't study the numbers, or they do, but they don't care because they have their own agendas and they want to shove that down your throat until they absolutely do go broke. And so on. Because I just tweeted out earlier today, I don't understand how in God's name, because even I wonder this sometimes. You mean to tell me that live sports are back and you are still struggling with your coverage? Quote me on that. Live sports are back and you're still struggling with your coverages. You're still losing money, you're losing viewers, and even though live sports is back. So that's the kind of the point there. You can't use this as an excuse about there's no more live sports. No, they are back, and you're still losing money. You're still losing coverage. People are still tuning you out. But also, because a lot of people have said before, they don't come to a quote-unquote sports network for politics. But I would also tell you, that's the thing. Sometimes politics is in sports and or has to be in sports because it's staring you right in the face and you just cannot ignore it. But I think one of the top problems that ESPN or whatever else network and networks have done wrong is, once again, they don't get it. If you're going to infuse politics into your reporting, then don't sell the media, don't sell your audience a narrative. That's like probably number one. Be unbiased with it, number two. And look at it from all possible rational angles. Because if you're reaching for it, your audience is going to be able to tell, they're going to know, and they're going to tune you out like they're already doing. Because God bless, the First Take panel, but Max Kellerman, God bless his soul, some of his takes just don't make any darn sense. And because God bless Will Kane, he also used to work for ESPN. He's now on Fox, doing Fox and Friends. And when Max Kellerman gave his take about the UFC guy, talking about right wing, left wing, I'm thinking to myself, you realize Will Kane's working for Fox and Friends now, right? So what are you talking this right wing, left wing stuff like? You just had a guy working with you for like I don't know how long. That's now on Fox and Friends. So do you not understand the difference between right and left here, etc. And I want people to just understand this. Some of their takes just don't make any sense anymore. It just doesn't, And it's like I think we can all agree. Several of our favorite ESPN commentators have shown not only their woke side, but they've definitely shown, you could even just say, political side. And they've made you now tune them out, not because you are not, a loyal supporter of them for better and for worse, but because, once again, there's only so much of politics you can take it once, I would say. Because I want people to understand, there's so many respectable, or at least formerly respectable ESPN commentators that are still working for them now. And it's like, wait a minute. Before you got on your political stuff, or whatever you got on, everybody, at least majority of people, like 80-20% probably, loved you, respected you, and knew you were good for your word. Now, it's so shaky and off balance, they don't trust your word, they don't want to hear your word, and you're totally losing respect and viewership practically day by day, show by show. And I want people to understand, because God bless Maria Taylor. She is a beautiful, lovely, accomplished woman at ESPN, let alone in the media and world of sports in general. Maria Taylor is glowing with talent, glowing with perspective, and I would say glowing with a lot of positives. To her life, her brand, her career, expectations, and everything else. But I am not going to lie, doing some of the research that I've done, independent research, because I listen to a bunch of independent people on YouTube. I'm not going to lie. I mean, God bless Maria Taylor. And same thing with Katie Nolan. Love Katie Nolan. But again, do they know what they're saying when they try to go at somebody else in the media, or they're talking about, LeBron's legacy or whatever? Do they know what they're talking about anymore? Or once again, because I'm telling you, these are probably once respected people by everybody's account, and now because they're either showing whichever way you would call it, woke side, political side, whatever, because they're showing those sides of them, you're now at least I know I am like, okay, unlike other people, I can watch this stuff and just laugh at it, or I can watch it and tune out half of what they're saying, or watch it and expose it on my own YouTube channel, let alone social media itself. Like, what that means, I can tolerate it. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't believe in half of what they're saying sometimes, but I can at least tolerate it because I'm one of those people that just want sports back, And so even if I don't pay attention to this or I don't listen to that, I'm at least gonna pay attention solely to the play on the field, which is possible if you want to do that. You know, like you literally can watch all these games and all these sports commentating shows. You can, debate shows. You can listen to it or watch it or whatever. And only tune in to certain bits of it, or there's like hear what you want to hear and don't hear. Or just purely focus on the field or whatever you want to do. It's possible, but you just have to train your mind, train your brain to it, and trust me, it can work every time. And I'm just not as sensitive as I could be or as sensitive as I want to be, because I've said it before, I am a sensitive person, but I want people to understand I am not so sensitive where you can't tell me things because I break like a snowflake. That's not me. It never has been, never will be. But I am sensitive to where, again, if you're going to come at me with folly, I'm going to come back to you with facts. And too many people don't like that, etc. They want their narrative. They want their narrative. And other than that, I want people to understand, yeah, back to the first thing I was about the cryptic stuff. Actually, let me stick on ESPN right quick. Actually, Maria Taylor more specifically. Because, for example, her commercial she did with Adidas about girls in sports, because supposedly some video I watched, or some poll or whatever I watched, said that most girls are dropping out of sports at 14 years old. And I'm like, oh my God, that's not good, and so on. And I kind of can't blame them, because you have no leagues, or even if you do, you're not getting paid, too much, or whatever, is the problem. WNBA supposedly has never flipped a profit, and they definitely alienated majority of whatever audience they had left with, their protest this season, and so on. I mean, no offense to the WNBA, but you're somewhat like the NPF. You can't even get half of your arena filled. Or at least most of your franchises can't even get half their arena filled. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's a bust. If not a bust, that's just, lackluster. I don't even know how many other words I can put there. But it makes a little bit of sense, ladies and gentlemen, because, dare I say, it might make sense, because I've watched a lot of, college basketball games where the young ladies literally could not even get, they literally had the same amount of attendance there at their games. I've watched the games where, whether the college was big name or not, I've watched the games where even, in college, a lot of these, teams couldn't get those arenas filled. And I'm like, actually, yeah, they could get like nobody to show up. That's part of my point. And that's why I really want to be a trailblazer and a pioneer to help up the coverage, up the leverage, up the ratings, up everything. But again, people got to be willing to work with you and admit that they're doing something wrong and give the controls up to somebody else. I got this gut feeling that in order for the WNBA to be successful, they need a male commissioner. I just got this gut feeling in my soul. They need a male commissioner, because I'm going to also say this, people can tell when you are pandering to them. Yeah, they can tell when you're pandering to them. And I really would like to ask somebody in the WNBA, have you ever tried to have a male commissioner? Have you ever tried that? Because I promise you, once you get a male commissioner, let alone the right male commissioner, I promise to God, some Hall of Famer legend basketball player, like dare I even say like someone like Shaq, who can sell anything, who's on all these different commercials. That man has so many endorsements. I'm like, wow. Someone like him, dare I even say, someone like him, or Bill Russell or somebody, you get the point, That's what I mean when I, or coach, Hall of Fame. I really, anybody that's lovable, that has character, that is respectable, that everybody knows, and so on and so on. That's my point. If the WNBA got someone like that, I got this gut feeling that their business would go from 0 to 100 right quick, real then. It would. It would. But when you're just so focused on, dare I even say, when you're so focused on female empowerment versus, the actual product that you're putting on the court, let alone the power structure of what you're playing with, then that's probably, again, why the WNBA is where it is today. Because there's a difference. And especially when you're running a business, there's a difference to make that brand succeed. So more coming soon, your boy, man, NJ to the city, out. God bless, peace.